Vishal, thank you for your presentation. I appreciate it. And yes, we're gonna have another webinar today. Is Thursday. Welcome everybody. Hello everybody. Excuse me for that. The mic was muted. I believe it's corrected. Okay, so today we're gonna have a review of the uh, Business Central environment for those of you who would like to understand finance. Finance, how do we now work in this new trend of working in the cloud? We're going to be checking this in a new way of how actually using the same functionality, of course, finance is finance all the way. Now we're going to use the technology to help us on our daily tasks. For me as an accountant, I'm going to have just the basic screen that I will be checking on a daily basis. Why? Because, well, guess what? I have business intelligence. I have artificial intelligence working behind me. So, of course, the basic structure of every company at the end is my chart of accounts. So we're going to have the review of these features and my first list of GL accounts and categories and how then everything is integrated. All right, so for me as an accountant, my screen is showing a, let's take a look at just the basics for an accountant. I have very important KPIs. For instance, the overdue purchase document that I haven't paid. Cash accounts balances that I still have for that specific period, and incoming documents because I have the technology. If I want to, with OCR technology, read invoices, so I don't have to input any more manual information. What else? Payments, of course, very important. Document approvals when they apply for me, such as purchase orders and sales orders when they apply. We can configure that for you. You can approve in your cell phone, by the way. You can approve here. This is just a browser. This is nothing else. Actually, let me just show you. Here is my address or my path for my website. So it's nothing else. Is I can open this on my tablet, of course, my cell phone, and etc. So I can continue working everywhere. Incoming documents, it's OCR. And of course, now that we have integration with the Outlook, I have a pending tasks that can come from my Outlook calendar. So I have a phone call that I need to do to deliver to check the delivery of something. And I can mark anything as completed. And this will be updating my Outlook calendar. So very important for me. Well, this could be related to specific meetings with my team. Now, also, if you want to learn, we can guide you through a process so you can get trained with the specific videos that will be updated for you to see information that you want on a daily basis. Um, of course, we have a search function that, for instance, if I take a look at my chart of accounts, now, with our new search function, of course, we have the typical information. Okay, if I look for the chart of accounts, an option is searching for the chart of accounts in my program in Business Central. Then I also could create a chart of cash flow accounts. Intercompany, very important. If you have more companies, we can consolidate, of course. Um, chart of accounts for reports and analysis. And guess what? Now we have the documentation connected to the actual Microsoft programs for you if you want to learn how to do something. So just by searching something, you can get free manuals, or also you can attend our training. So just explaining the general functionality of what the documents can be offering to you whenever you apply and look for any information. What do we have then below? It's more related now to my structure as an accountant, because I need to check specific accounts all the way. First of all, I'm gonna be monitoring my my assets, my liquid assets, because I need to review my check accounts, my petty cash, accounts receivable, and all of this screen is fully customizable. So you don't require a programmer, right? You can personalize your own settings, right? And you can move everything to the place you want it, right? So the idea here is that you don't only move figures, but if you want a specific field, you can customize this according to your preference. Okay, so it depends on the page you're gonna be opening, so you can even add fields. So maybe in this screen, I would like to see maybe my expenses for the month. So we can add, you can add it. You don't need anybody else, but just some training to start customizing your windows. So I have decided that I have a section that is called Insights. I have my chart of accounts and my most important accounts and my specific vendors that I work with on a daily basis. Here, just general charts for cash flow. Well, now coming into the information, this is taking a look at that's why I wanted to start with the charts. Look at this. We don't have GL account numbers, but look at how this was already showing me actual real information. I have the total receivable amounts for 136,000. And this is now calculating some cash flow basic trends. Specifically with this information, I can also just review and position my cursor on the specific bars to toggle and change the information that is shown. Okay, I can also select a chart. So I have the cash cycle, I have income and expenses. So where does these actually are coming? Of course, information that is posted in real time, but if you can take a look, this is like categorized, okay? So I have a category that is receivables, another that is payables, liquid funds, and total cash flow. So let's take a look how then this is very interesting, how everything is done, is automatically done for you with accounts you use. So you are going to get a lot of different charts that you can use. Also, we have now with Cortana calculation on cash flow forecasts. Okay, we have business intelligence, artificial intelligence working for us. So according to, for instance, this calculation that I have in my demo environment, I have a cash flow forecast combined for a specific working date and a specific month, right? That this is telling me that today at 8:58, artificial intelligence review my data in my company, and it's telling me that I need to check because this actually my cash flow will be negative for March. So then I would need to try to review what's going on behind this information, right? Okay, so this is taxes from sales orders. And okay, now I understand. This is currently coming because it's checking my taxes. All right, so I'm gonna have to pay, and this might be affecting my cash flow. All right, just for now, because of course, I'm going to be posting more sales operations in my regular company in order to actually have the entire information, and every time I post something, the cash flow will be affected. All right. And last but not least, I have embedded here a Power BI dashboard. This is let's say the top of the art when it comes to reporting. You could add any report that you use in finance. You can add charts, and let me just try to explain you how this looks like. In here, you have a other software, specifically that is going to help you if you want to implement and use a Business Central in the cloud. We have Power BI and Jet reports out of the box, working fully integrated with Business Central. Now, for me, well, it's about only selecting. For instance, I have plenty of reports that I have here. I designed these reports. So if you have somebody, also we offer Power BI and Jet reports training. So I'm just showing you that all the information that I wanted, it's here. All the reports created that I can request, they will be appearing for me just here. And well, the magic comes when I just open the chart that I requested. I am having here a dashboard that is embedded, and I just maximizing this dashboard. And the idea here is that you can interact now with the actual information. Well, this type of a business intelligence software, of course, is taking information from my chart of accounts as well. In this case, this is industry margin analysis. Another dashboards, for instance, that you could review your revenue, right, for the different months that we could have even by a geographical area, and you can interact on real time with this. This is done with a, well, cell phone screen. As an example, this could be tablet, this could be anything. As long as you have access to internet, you can review your information. And here, well, this is actually sales operations. For geographical area, we have a beautiful map here. The same characteristics of the, well, these are more beautiful charts because this is embedded. Power BI has most beautiful and top of the art dashboards that you can find. So I strongly recommend, and it's actually checking the information from where? From my chart of accounts in real time. And you can, of course, interact with this. So I'm just checking the information that is in the East, and I can see the sales for that specific period, month by month, right? You could even review by executive you want to filter, or if you want to interact, for example, with the map, I'm checking North Carolina figures, Ohio, and so on. All right, so these are just some examples, all right? Where does this information actually come from? It's very important to understand that everything is in real time. Also, last but not least, Excel interacts directly with a Business Central as well. Let me try to actually open my Excel. This will be a regular operation from you, special accountants, especially accountants, because the idea is that my reports and my pages can be, of course, exported to Excel. That's quite normal, let's say. But now, if you want to update and import something from and edit something in in Business Central, you can edit your information in Excel and upload the information to Business Central, and everything will be updated. So I'm just connecting here now my Excel to my environment that is in the cloud. All right, just that. Let me just go back then to present the basic chart of accounts. After this long tour, I just wanted to show some of the most important features that how, as an accountant, you will be now working. Of course, I need to go and review on a daily basis my chart of accounts. This is what I do every day. I review well, just a general EL account list that I have for my company with my assets, the different sections, right? And liabilities, and then I have here the net change and the balance. Okay, let's just go down to see it for the first time. I have here also my income statement and the structure that I have behind all of this will be explained in a moment. So the idea is that I have my balance sheet and my income statement, all my GL accounts structured by number, right? And the description is here. Basically, that is the integration of a GL account. If I take a look at any of my accounts and I just review them, I want to see how to actually understand how the GL account works, because from here we can go from very basic reporting to further detail if you want to use a microscope and review every transaction, or BI technology like I have shown before. How then this works? First of all, we integrate a number that could be, if I'm not mistaken, even to up to 10 characters a GL account could be. How then this works? Because you saw geographical information, people selling, departments, right? So how does everything interact together? Let's try and focus now first on our components. Here I have my income services account. My regular account is just have a description, and here I just need to see the fields that I have, if it's a income statement account or balance sheet account. I just need to review the basic fields. And look at here, I have the category and subcategory information, right? So this is also an income type of account. We have different type of categories, by the way: asset, liabilities, equity, income, cost of goods sold, and expense. Of course, this is actually pre-configured for the people who will be creating their GL accounts for the first time, so they can select everything. And as well, we have an account subcategory. These account subcategories I need, and it's important to start setting them up, because I have all the different type of incomes that I have in my company, and it depends. Well, I have services because I provide maintenance, product sales, that will be the normal resale of the items that I purchase, jobs when I have projects, and then I offer discounts. Well, I have, of course, adjustments like sales return allowances, income and interests, because I sometimes charge interests to my customers, and job sales. Okay, all of this is the type of categories and how do I can categorize my type of accounts. Then, very important, at least just for the basic fields, you're gonna be seeing that all the different accounts that we create actually have one specific feature that let me add some more other fields for you to see. By the way, how do I personalize my scripts? I just wanted to add, we have the account category, any of the fields that you can review here. For instance, you can add balance of date. This will be good because I don't always work with the net change, of course. Another thing that I just would be adding, very well. Okay, here's the accounts of category. So I want to see more and more information, and etc. So you saw that I was just dragging my fields because this is very important for me to understand my list of GL accounts that I have. So I can continue adding anything that I want: the tax product posting route, the tax business, so that you can see the debit or credit of the accounts, and everything could be just listed here. So I'm done customizing this. And very important, what we're going to be then seeing on my accounts is the characteristics of not only the net change, the balance that I have just added. Then if it's balance sheet or income statement, the accounts of category that I have explained. And now, very important, the account type. Some accounts will be allowing the users to use, for instance, purchase or general journals to use the specific accounts to post transactions. Some of them are just begin or heading. Why? Because of course that my chart of accounts now is segmented. Is starting from the assets, but this is a just text information, let's say. So I won't be posting anything. Any transaction will be including the account 10001, but I will be using the specific accounts that I have under this subset of accounts that actually have the characteristic of the account type posting. All right, and you can see here I begin the my asset section in the account 10001, and here is the begin part, and then posting, meaning that I have many type of accounts: cash, accounts receivable, prepaid expenses, inventory, blah blah blah. And then in account 109990, the end total. That means that I have different segments, and all my chart of accounts is segmented for different type of uses that I can create, and I can create subsets and subsets of accounts. Then very important, you can decide here if this is an account that will be posting, heading, total, begin, or end, like I have shown. Then you can allow direct posting. A direct posting is because it happens that many of our chart of accounts, many of our GL accounts that we use, actually the information is coming from another subledgers like fixed assets, like when it applies manufacturing, a bank reconciliation. So we don't want those subledgers to be on match, to be on balance with our chart of accounts. So that information, for instance, the depreciation will be coming from the fixed asset module. And here, I don't have to manually input any more Excels. Everything is automated when it comes to fixed assets. So I'm going to then, if I have accounts for fixed assets, I'm not going to allow the direct manual posting with general journals. Everything will be automated. So you can then allow, if you're going to be enable manual or automatically generated, automated information generated by your subledgers like AR, AP, all that information should be coming only from your invoice from vendors and customers and your payments that you do. Then you can block your GL account whenever you want. And also we have characteristics where we work with intercompany for consolidate your chart of accounts, and maybe you have not only more companies, but let's say that translation of accounts. So maybe other divisions or that are not in Business Central, you want to import an Excel with the new information, but well, maybe that other company have different type of numbering and is not using the same, for instance, 2100 accounts payable account. All right, just for you to know, we can just, by using the consolidation fields, make the relationship between the different GL accounts that you want to import, and we can consolidate everything into one single environment. Then we have the reporting. Well, this will be just for exchange rates, okay? I'm not going to talk about too much reporting today. It's more focused on the part of the basic configuration, right? But just for you to know, I'm just showing you the type of fields we have in our GL account, right? Nothing else to be shown, just the basics. Very important. So you need all the general information that I have just explained here. Very important. Automatic extended text. For instance, if you want to add any specific text, additional text that for that account will be shown if you use it as an example in a document or in a general journal, right? So basically that's it. Once I have just showed this, I'm going to create a GL account for the first time for you to see very, very easy how it is. And I have my income accounts. Let's try to create an expense account. Okay, in order to create a new account, you just need to review the numbering. I have the 61,900. So what I'm gonna be doing is just checking this, and I'm gonna create a new GL account. And by reviewing the numbering, I want to place my GL account in the last part of the expenses section. So that's why just by selecting the specific number, NAB will place your account when it actually should be. Now, also, this has relationship with some other type of costing. I have advanced costing in Business Central, meaning that I have cost centers because I need to tell the system this will be consultancy expenses. Very well. Business Central not only integrates only one type of a logical criteria for consultants. Sometimes you as accountants create your internal processes, maybe by department for the expenses, by type of a division, right? But even by area in your company, the first, the second, or third floor, you create your own criteria. When you do that, it's the same information we have in your GL accounts, of course, should match, but we call it in Business Central advanced costing, and we have for that cost centers and profit centers. So in this case, I'm going to have the expense a type of category, right? Remember that all of this was a pre-configured, and this is updating my cost centers as well. Now, if I just want to categorize, this could be, well, fees expense at least, because I don't see consultancy in this part. We can create it, but for now, for the demo, will be the fee expense. Basically just that. All right. Do you want to allow this to be a direct posting? And in this case, yes, I can use it with a general journal as an example, right? So I'm going to allow it, or I can actually just block it. Also, very important, if you don't want to continue using a GL account, is this account going to be reconciled? Because we can reconcile every account. You can actually just review that part, right? Basically, that's it, at least just for creating my account for the first time. And I have some other type of fields that I have, for instance, the posting, but this is related to purchase and sales and taxes operations, right? But the idea for me to start working is just to check the chart of account is completed. All right, and then posting accounts, the posting groups will be then related to other training session, because that is also very important when you set up a company. Okay, for now, this is it. My new account is ready, and this functionality is telling me that another cost accounting process is running behind. Well, because guess what? Actually, I can show it to you. It would be interesting for you accountants. I have another type of accountability profiles or criterias. So in my company, I, by department, created my own internal controls, that as well as for finance. So I have the production, the sales department, the operational department, and everything. Everybody is checking different type of financial information. For now, once I have this, what I need just to do is work with one specific option, this ident chart of accounts. How this works, then just let me show you my new account that I have just created. Okay, the consultancy expenses account is positioned on the specific number that I have just added, right? And now, well, if you can see, it's not aligned with the other accounts. It's like a little bit on the left because it's not yet indented. This is what I need to do now in order to align everything. It's a process. that updates the indentation of my GL accounts. Remember that I have different segments: the asset, the debits, the passive accounts, then in a general way balance sheet and a P&L, right? But with all those segmentations that I do, I want to actually include from my new accounts to which segment it belongs to. So then I'm just going to indent this to my expenses section, and this is now just doing so. Now, consultancy expenses is part of a section that is called total expenses, right? And as well, I have categorized this as the expenses and fee type of category. So this is a fee and expense account at the same time. Okay, you might be wondering, hey, Noe, I have my chart of accounts here, it's ready. You were saying that you're going to be explaining how this relates to the maps, to the different departments and areas, okay? In order to go further, now that we understand how this is integrated, I'm going to just review the second step of how the design of the program will be helping accountants to work. The second step is the categorization of the accounts that you have seen, and with this new GL that we created and we categorize it. And we have different categories. Look at this, this is beautiful. I have the same information, financial information, but in this case, actually this could be a report, but I just have here all the categories, right? And all the, for instance, the totals by this type of criteria, where I don't have just the numbers of my GL accounts, but I just can see my sections here. So this is maybe sometimes more useful for the accountant to see this type of information, right? So, but here the most important is you can see how many GL accounts are integrating the income section. All right. So, well, from 4,000 to 40,000 to 4,990 account job sales, all this section is coming to integrate my specific category. And here, well, I have my expenses. All right. But here I have the fees expenses. All right. I could have literally dozens of GL accounts dedicated to only fees. All right. So you can see that I have actually for 400, 60, 400, 60, 500. This is a range of accounts. Okay, you can create up to 100 accounts among these. And the last account that I created for consultancy services. Okay, so this is how more or less the beginning reports, the initial reports begin. Okay, we created all our chart of accounts, then we categorize them, and here I'm just showing the categories and the balance for that type of a criteria that I have. What happened next? I have something that is called account schedule. An account schedule is a report that you as an accountant can do without the help of other programmers. Let's take a look at that, because here from this type of well, the single chart of accounts that we see, everything can be used. Now you can create your own reports or budgets as an example, everything automated and integrating all the information. Let's take a look. Okay, so once I have this, let me show you one option. I can edit this, okay? If you want to change this section manually, you take a look and include more accounts, select them, click on OK, and you will be adding more accounts to the fees expense if you want to update something manually. Okay, but if this is okay, if my categories contain the specific list, well, what I can do then is just generate account schedule, all right? This is going to help me to create automatic reports for me, because once Business Central knows the type of category that your chart of accounts has, every GL account has, so he's going to be reviewing now at the specific income, cost of goods sold, expenses, and he can help us to calculate everything we want from a financial reporting perspective. So he's going to create us reports for us. Let's take a look. If I just click on generate account schedule, this is going to review everything that I have set up and the new GL account that I created and blah, blah, blah. And that's it. Once that is done, I'm gonna go out of this window. So you saw the categorization, and this is very good because it's like the beginning of the BI, let's say. All right, this is not only seeing the regular chart of accounts, but now working a little bit further. Let's take a look what then I have just done. Account schedule. Okay, you can see many reports also working with financial information. I haven't, believe it or not, gone out of the concept of a chart of accounts, right? I have just make some other automation for me to work. Now, let's take a look why. Business Central created different analyze information for me and creating some reports. The reports that were created are called account schedules. So it created for me cash cycle chart, cash flow chart, data for income and expenses charts, right? So you can use all of this from now on. And here with the M retainer, M income, M cash flow, M balance, this function review how I configure my system and created for me the following reports. Let's take a look at the income statements, an example that starts with the M. This was created by the system. And then let's take a look if I just want to review the actual report. Well, in the account schedule, report, type of report. Let me open it a little bit more. You can see how I'm opening just windows in my browser. And basically, well, that's it. Okay, here in this type of screens, you can see that you have the information versus net change versus my budget, because I have a budget, by the way, and it's analyzing the variance. All right, so here I don't see the GL account number. I'm seeing my category: sales discount, income services, the one that I showed you before, right? But the idea is that you're going to be analyzing this information, all right, automatically, and you can drill down. And you can the idea of the account schedule is that you will be using the following tools. You can filter by department. If you, for instance, in my company, I have 3 departments internally: administration, productions, and sales, all right? And then, well, you can just filter any of them to see information. For instance, the information generated for my administration department, well, they don't have income or income information because they will be normally, or I will be using this type of dimensions for expenses, all right? And look at this, I have budgeted some expenses for a different type of a GL accounts, and you can see them here. Not only that, but you can select if you have different budgets. All of them, you're going to be budgeting on your chart of accounts, but this is not a field generated with real information, but just a planned information. And we can just compare your plan with the actual information. So you can see the budget and the net change coming from the actual chart of accounts, because my accounts were categorized, and I have here in this report, well, that specific analysis. Another thing is that you can analyze now by a date, all the information. Let me just get rid of my filter. You can take a look. How do you want to analyze the information, the financial information, by day, by week, by month, by quarter, year, or accounting period? There, as you can see here, I'm checking, well, January, the January information, but if you want just with doing having to do anything, just go to the previous column as an example. And start checking the information. Well, basically, right? Let me previous period. Okay, I'm taking a look at January of year 2019. All right, so here I have the net change. Okay, the salaries, the repairs and maintenance, my expenses from my last year are here, right? And you can just review all the information however you want it. And you, as an accountant, can just create all of these. All right. Just as an example of this type of reports automatically generated by the system. So these are generated because I created the categories. This is how the magic happens, all right? Not only that, okay, if I take a look at my cash flow, I can change even the type of analysis that I do. For instance, I can review the balances, the net change, the periods definition for mini charts. Or if I want, I can create more type of analysis. Let me show you. You just need some basic training on this and you can create your own reports from now on. Well, actually, this is a functionality that has existed for a while. Let me see. The idea is that for me, just to review a little bit, everything related to the basic chart of accounts functionality. So if I want to edit this, okay, the first column, it was the net change. The second column was a budget, right? Then if you don't want this, well, why not to use a formula that says, okay, what do you want to see? The net change, the balance at date, year to date, rest of fiscal year, entire fiscal year. Every column you can, you just select what you want to see. All right, basically I'm minus one formula. For instance, I don't want just to see this, but I want to, why not see the net change, but analyze the same net change. I'm gonna actually change it like in this process, okay? Net change, okay, that's fine. But the formula would be a comparison formula minus 1 month. Oh, sorry for that. My keyboard is in Spanish. Let me change the language. Minus 1 month, correct. Okay, so you can create now your own analysis. If you can see here in my first row, I have the column N, the column B, all right? But in the, you can add CBB, CBD and other type of columns. You see that you can create your budgets. You can include actual entries from your chart of accounts, right? And the comparison formula will be minus 1 month. So I comparing this month to the last one, all right? Or, well, as you can see, you do not only can select only those analyses, but we have formulas like in this example, because I'm calculating variances against my budget. Or you can select the change, balance at date, year to date, and etc. With this, with just some tweaks, believe me, you can create reports super easy. Okay, very important. Also, this information generated, now that I understood this, how to integrate my chart of accounts, then you understood that I have dimensions or departments, right? In order to see the following information, I need to present you with this. The dimension is the structure of how the transaction will be posted in my chart of accounts, but with a specific type of criteria. For instance, the department that I showed you before, I'm just selecting in my company in order to avoid creating thousands of accounts. For instance, I need to create an account for expense in my administration department, or in my office A, office 2, office 3. In a previous or a normal system that are plain, I would need to create a new GL account for every type of variance of my analysis, with sometimes 1,000 accounts. Why not? Now you don't have to do that. You see that my chart of accounts is very small, but if I want a specific criteria like my departments, well, let's use dimensions, all right? So my departments, I'm going to indicate the system that I have all different departments in my company. I have administration, productions, and sales. Okay, these are just the basics. You can create as much as any dimension that you want. Customer groups and activity. This could be also, I don't know, geographical areas, another example, all right? So in combination with this, you can create BI, like I did before. All right, once you get to the concept of the GL account and the categorization, all right, let me just go back a little bit to our chart of accounts again. Okay. The chart of accounts that I have here currently has the actual real information of my company. I can click on the next change or balance. Well, that for January are, by the way, the same. And in order to see all the specific different transactions that were posted, you can look and review the detail, of course, right? Not only that, but you can reverse if you want to work with any transaction among your um, information that you have, right? And remember the dimensions. Okay, every transaction that is posted in my GL account now will carry a dimension if needed, right? Well, this transaction currently doesn't have a dimension. Let me try to take a look at, oh, because it's checks. Well, that's understand that, but let's take a look at the income services, job, sales discounts, maybe some income expenses. I have payments, all of them are payments. And salaries expenses. Okay, maybe my salary expenses is very important for me to understand. Okay, I actually pay a salaries to different departments among my company. All right. So why not add, now that I can just customize in among my chart of accounts, let's just see the department. Why not? Oh, it's quite long. So the amount is here. Why not here, the department? Well, I'm adding. So what else? The quantity, well, not that far yet. Even if you have intercompany transactions, you can add this field, IC partner code, very important, whenever you actually consolidate information. For now, I'm just going to stop just to explain the concept of the how do we work with the dimensions and the transaction that you see here that are already posted. Okay, they don't currently have this. Okay, but the idea, because they were just, this is just a demo, but my information, my financial information for of salaries can carry the department of every transaction. So this could be, you remember that I have production, sales, and administration, and I'm paying salaries for all the people working on those different departments. Okay, here the department can be added as well. So you carry information about the amount, the GL account, and the department code. You can use this for the different criteria according to how you want it in your company. It could be more important also to have, I don't know, the geographical area, all right, for sales operations as an example. It would be good to see that part because look at this. Here I pay some repairs and maintenance expenses, all right? Why? Because in my company, I actually have some machines that and vehicles that actually on a monthly basis, I actually need to pay some salaries or fees for maintenance services, all right? Maybe to a vendor or internal people. In this case, what I do is I'm going to allocate the total cost of that company expense into my different departments code. And this could be allocated by a percentage or equally, however you want. But now you currently in your actual GL account carry the actual dimension information. This could be also for a north, south of your specific country and so on. So once you get now the concept of this, how the chart of account is integrated, create the categories, understand that you can create automated reports automatically, and as well, this type of way of working within Navision actually is because the chart of accounts is not that long anymore. It hasn't been like that. What we do is just add dimensions. So you don't have to create new GL accounts, just add different dimensions for your different type of analysis and leave your chart of accounts small, right? Once you get that part, let me just see my settings. Okay, here, as an accountant, I'm almost finishing. Just the first part. Okay, now let me just review another. I want to see a menu that has reports in Excel for you to see this part. I remember now. Okay. Also, the information that you see is fully integrated with and you can use Excel. You can report create your own reports like I've said. And now I'm just changing my one parameter in order to not only be the accountant but the business manager of one of the divisions that I have. So this business manager as well is going to be checking. Let's see. Okay. It's going to be reviewing some specific, for instance, reports. Okay, I have the Excel reports that were actually here. I have my balance sheet, income statement, cash flow statement. Everything was generated with your chart of accounts and the categories that you configured before, like we did. And if I just, for instance, download the balance sheet, right, you can just immediately have it in Excel. And now with or the idea with Business Central is that in Excel we have an Excel add-in. Let me enable it. All right, and this is, as you can see, like making some refreshing. Is refreshing data actually. It's just doing that in order for me to present the actual information, right? Okay, so here the idea is that I have all these reports, all right? You can download them. Well, this is for actually a month that I haven't actually just posted information. That's why my numbers are in zero. I was presenting January and 2019. Because this is actually taking a look at the business date, by the way, that you have on your settings. You can set your work date here, right? So I don't know, as an example, just for you to know and show how to change this part. Well, because once I have just done that, guess what? In the Excel, everything you do in Business Central is now in Excel being updated. Here is this is telling me that my work is being also updated, right? Why? Because of course I changed a parameter. Okay, so now this tell me, hey, time out waiting for a response. Okay, so the idea is that while I was just checking information, I updated the date. Preferably, if this is taking too long, I just simply download it again. But the idea is that all the reports were automatically created for you. You don't have to do anything else. So each account is payable. Let's try to download it. All the reports contain real-time data, and just with the integration, very well. All these reports are going to be now available for you. Okay, the balance, the due dates. Okay, now it's updating with the, well, actually review information in the past. All right, but here you can see the balance, due dates, and etc. Everything that the accounts payable aging information requires. All right, and here, well, not only this, I told you that well, um, of course, you could use now the different Excel type of let's say tools in order to actually just work with your reports. Okay, so the idea for me to work with this is that um, I should be using everything that is in my hands for me as a consultant to show you these technologies, right? In order for you to make life easier, and how then explain you how then, of course, a Business Central is integrating all these solutions. Last but not least, let me show you for you the accountants, the intelligent cloud insights, everything that was also calculated by Business Intelligence for me. So I have cash available. The cash available was calculated by Cortana. Sales profitability. Okay, this is a very general calculation, of course, right? Because this needs to be reviewed by product or anything that could be the preferably with business intelligence. Okay, net income, inventory value, insights. 18 of your customers are late with their payments to you. Why don't you use the Cortana information? This was reviewed in my chart of accounts information, and here also with the customer balances, reviewing the invoices available. Okay, not only that, but well, just insights, Power BI also created, and well, basically that's it. A chart of account analysis. Let's take a look. Okay. You can show, and I'm changing all this information actually on the fly while I'm actually just working, just to present some information here. Okay, and these reports that I'm just having here can be just generated on real time. They were generated by Cortana for me, right? So I can see the best customers. If you want to use it, okay, you can simply come into your role center and add the chart, right? Basically just that. Okay, I'm not gonna go further with business intelligence. I'm gonna stick a little bit more with the basics, but now you understand, okay, once you have your chart of accounts, your account categories, you start generating those reports that way. And something very, very, very important as well, the GL budgets. Just to finalize, the GL budgets we mentioned before, here, the same use of a chart of account that we have in advance with my actual codes, right? But now you can input financial information. Let's do it for the following February and March for my 4,000 or 4,100 account. I believe this was a income. And here you can start see the budgeted amount for that account, all right? So all the use of the GL information is not only for the dimensions and the actual transactions, but also the budgets. So then you can start inputting information. Remember that everything is edited in Excel as well. So why don't we use that same? Because I don't like this the way of working like this. So why don't you just Excel? I committed a mistake, a typo error here, sorry. Just one. Okay. And here, well, the idea is just basically that I will preferably work in an Excel in order to see my my actual budget. So you just need to input balances for this period. All right. In this case, well, January, they input any type of amount for all of these accounts whenever you want. And once you do that, just save the file and import it. All right. So we have the functions here to actually show copy budgets, delete, export to Excel, and import from Excel, all with the chart of account structure. So you can analyze your real data against the actual planned information that you would like to work with. All right, so that's more or less, at least just in the beginning, the scope of the chart of accounts, usage, how it is used with dimensions, and how BI and Excel work together for me as an accountant to get rid of the actual information. Basically, that's all for me. That's the only thing that I needed to explain you for today. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have doubts. Oh, I forgot one thing that I forgot to explain, that we do not only have the chart of accounts, we have another concept that we have advanced costing. Let me see. Chart of cost centers. All right, let's take a look at it. Okay, my cost centers are administration, products, and sales, warehouse, and they actually are going to really review and as like a chart of account, like a GL account. I'm going to be now in a more advanced functionality. A group, every information posted into different GL accounts, but gathered as one single cost center, right? In this case, the administration department is posting, right? So I have the 180 transaction coming from a petty cash transaction from my account 61 to 100 coming into the administration department. So I can see every transaction posted to the administration cost center coming from my chart of account information. Both work at the same time. Both are not, do not necessarily have to be balanced, but it's just the idea of generating another type of analysis for the accountant as well, coming from the actual information that was posted in my transactions, in my general ledger. All right, so that's all for today. Thank you for coming. If you don't have further doubts, I entirely appreciate your time. Every Thursday we have this type of webinars, and well, I invite you. We are offering now the program to certify you. If you want something specific, um, specific doubts about finance, we have a lot of technology that you're learning how to use it. And remember, everything is in the cloud or on premises. They look exactly the same. Okay, and they use the only idea is that we do not install, especially for you, the accountants, we don't install a client. Normally, every software or application in your mobile, you actually install like the app, right? We don't need that anymore. We just work with a browser. Everything you have seen is in my browser. And let me explain you. For instance, I have in Outlook. I can open my Outlook here in my browser. You can work in a tablet, right? Just forgot to mention that and start working on a regular basis. Everything is on the cloud, all right? So let me just come back anyway to Business Central for you to see. Thank you very much for coming. Hopefully this was interesting and see you next time. Have a nice and great day. My name is Noe, and every time you need something, just let me know. Bye bye.